Hi dear students, you are welcome in this video. Students, this is #net series and we are making videos on the previous questions which were asked in the net examinations, and this is the next part in the same series. We have covered 25 questions in November 2017 question paper, and now we have next 25 questions in the same question paper, that is November 2017. So here are some questions. For that you need to take a pen and paper and write down the option, and before their option you can write down your answer. For example, like this is the option, just write down 26 and before that 26 whatever option you choose as the correct answer, 1, 2, 3 or 4, and at the end you can calculate, and when I tell you the correct answer, just write whatever your option is, 1, 2 or 3 or 4, and at the end of the video you can calculate your score. So how many questions you can solve here we are checking in this video. So let's start with the very question, that is question number 26, and there are 25 questions, 26 to 50 questions, and here we have number 26. Which novel of Thomas Hardy begins with the somber description of Agent Heath? And options are number 1, Jude the Obscure, number 2, The Return of the Native, number 3, Far from the Madding Crowd, and number 4, Under the Greenwood Tree. And the correct option, just write down. And here the answer is number 2, The Return of the Native. Question number 27. The metrical form of Gower's Confessio Amantis is number 1, iambic pentameter, number 2, anapestic trimeter, number 3, octosyllabic couplets, and number 4, trochaic tetrameter. And the correct option is number 3, octosyllabic couplets. Octo means 8, so there are 8 syllables in the couplet. Couplet means 2 lines. If you want a dedicated video on the English meters, I can make that video. Please let me know in the comment section. So let's move to the next question, and the next question 28. What happens to the lock of ears at the end of Alexander's Pope's The Rape of the Lock? And options are number 1, it is given back to its rightful owner, number 2, it is preserved in a monument, number 3, it turns into a star, and 4, it is presented to the poet as a token of gratitude. And the correct option is number 3, it turns into a star. 29. The Bard, the Iron Lady, the King. The above are examples of A, Anacoluthon, number 2, Aposiopesis, number 3, Acinditon, and number 4, Antonomasia. And the correct option is number 3, number 4, Antonomasia. This is the example of antonomasia. Here you have given the word bard, it is referring to the poet, and next is Iron Lady, who is very strict, and next the king. So they represent some kind of nouns, and hence it is antonomasia. Question number 30. Which of the following novels by Margaret Atwood depicts the historical event of the notorious murders committed in 1843? Number 1, The Blind Assassin, number 2, Alias Grace, number 3, Cat's Eye, number 4, Oryx and Crake. And the correct option is number 2, Alias Grace. 31. Which of the following poems by W.B. Yeats repudiates the sensual world in favor of the artifice of eternity? Number 1, Under the Bulbane, number 2, Among School Children, number 3, Sailing to Byzantium, and number 4, After Long Silence. And the correct option is number 3, Sailing to Byzantium. Question number 32. Which of the following characters in Moby Dick falls overboard and turns insane as a result? Number 1, Pip, number 2, Queequeg, number 3, Starbuck, and number 4, Tashtego. And the correct option is number 3, Starbuck. 33. Which of the following poems by Seamus Heaney is dedicated to the Irish poet Paul Muldoon? Number 1, The Loaning, number 2, The Sandpit, number 3, A Migration, number 4, Vision. And the correct option is number 1, The Loaning. 34. In William Golding's Lord of the Flies, which of the following characters is put to death? Number 1, Piggy, number 2, Ralph, number 3, Simon, and number 4, Jack. And the correct option is number 3, Simon. Question number 35. In Canterbury Tales, who has a red face full of sores? Number 1, the summoner. Number 2, shipman. Number 3, the yeoman. And number 4, the reeve. And the correct option is number 1, summoner. Question number 36. The pace of speech is called number 1, syllable. Number 2, loudness. Number 3, tempo. Number 4, pitch. And the correct option is number 3, tempo. Question number 37. Match the title with the author. A. Sexual Politics. 1. Mary Ellman. B. A Literature of Their Own. 2. Ellen Showalter. C. Thinking About Women. 3. Helen Sixers. D. The Laugh of Medusa. 4. Kate Millett. Match the pair. And here you see that we have sexual politics. Actually it is written by, you can understand these works and their authors, who wrote sexual politics and a literature of their own. So you can find the correct option. If you know 2 options at least, you can solve this question. Here sexual politics is composed by Kate Millett and a literature of their own is composed by directly Ellen Showalter. Now you can find that A is to 4 and B is to 2, number 2, and where this pair you find, then you can understand the answer. Here you see 4 here and 3. So 4 and 3, it is not the correct option. 4 and 2. Now this is 4 and this is 2. Just you have to recognize one another work. Thinking About Women, Mary Ellman, and The Laugh of Medusa, Helen Sixers. So here you can see that correct option would be number 2, and this is written by Mary Ellman, and here Laugh of Medusa by, and here Laugh of Medusa by Helen Sixers. So number 2 is correct. 38. Which of the following historical events does Tennyson's poem The Charge of the Light Brigade describe? 1. The Battle of Hastings. 2. The Wars of the Roses. 3. The Battle of Waterloo. 4. The Crimean War. And the correct option is number 4, the Crimean War. 39. Northrop Frye's influential work Anatomy of Criticism includes, as the subtitle indicates, 4 essays. Which of the following is not among them? Now you have to just recognize which of the following essay is not the part of this Northrop Frye's influential work Anatomy of Criticism. 1. Archetypal criticism, theory of myths. 2. Typological criticism, theory of types. 3. Historical criticism, theory of modes. And 4. Ethical criticism, theory of symbols. And the answer is very simple. This is also the part of anatomy. Again, this is the part and this is the part, and here this is not the part, typological criticism, and the correct option is number 2. Typological criticism is not the part of Anatomy of Criticism by Northrop Frye. 40. In Robert Browning's Andrea del Sarto, which of the following painters does Andrea not compare himself with? Now again you have a question, not, you have to recognize among these 4 options. Number 1, Michelangelo. Number 2, Leonardo da Vinci. Number 3, Rembrandt. And number 4, Raphael. And the correct option is number 3. So the painter compares himself with Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci and Raphael, and not with Rembrandt. 41. In Jonathan Swift's Gulliver's Travels, Gulliver refers to William Dampier, the famous writer of 2 voyages, as 1. Master, 2. Brother, 3. Cousin, and 4. Uncle. And the correct option is number 3. Cousin. 42. Who among the following is not a character in Pride and Prejudice? Number 1, Mr. Darcy. Number 2, Miss Bingley. Number 3, Miss Bates. And number 4, Mr. Collins. And the correct option is number 3, Miss Bates is not the character in Pride and Prejudice. 43. All the world's a stage and all the men and women mere players occurs in Shakespeare's As You Like It. Which character says the line? So these are very famous lines, and these lines are said by one of the characters by Shakespeare. And options are 1, Jacks, 2 Celia, 3 Rosalind and 4 Touchstone, and the correct option is Jacques. So this statement is made by Jacques. 44. Which of the following rivers are mentioned in Andrew Marvell's poem To His Coy Mistress? Number 1 Thames and Rhine, number 2 Thames and Ganges, number 3 Ganges and Humber, and number 4 Thames and Humber, and the correct option is number 3 Ganges and Humber. So these rivers are mentioned there. 45. The truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. The above is an example of number 1 plus, number 2 episiaxis, number 3 plurisignation, number 4 diasis, and the correct option is number 1 plus. 46. Which of the following images is not part of W.H. Auden's poem In Memory of W.B. Yeats? Number 1 Mercury sinking in the mouth of dying day, number 2 wolves running through evergreen forests, number 3 silence invading the suburbs, number 4 memory scattering like the beads, and the correct option is number 4 memory scattering like the beads. 47. Who among the following is the author of Steps to the Temple? Number 1 John Donne, number 2 Richard Crashaw, number 3 George Herbert, and number 4 Henry Vaughan, and the correct option is number 2 Richard Crashaw. 48. Match the character with the work. Jim Dixon, number 1 Room at the Top, B Jimmy Porter, number 2 Hurry on Dawn, C Joe Lambton, number 3 Look Back in Anger, D Charles Lumley, and number 4 Lucky Jim. And we have here the codes, and the correct code is number 1. 49. In the opening book of the Prelude, Wordsworth mentions famously that he was fostered alike by dash and again dash. Pick out the right pair. And we have options A nature, B fear, C imagination, and D beauty. And the right combination here we have number 1 A and C, number 2 D and B, number 3 D and C, and number 4 A and D. And the correct option is number 2 D and B. Here you can find that beauty and fear. In the first you have alike by beauty and fear. And the last question, the title of Ngugi Thiong'o's Petals of Blood is derived from a poem by Derek Walcott. Identify the poem. Number 1 A Far Cry from Africa, number 2 The Swamp, number 3 Goats and Monkeys, number 4 Midsummer, and the correct option is number 2 The Swamp. So this is taken from The Swamp. So all questions we have completed. Now you can check your score, how many questions you could solve in this series. So each question was for 2 marks. So these are the questions and we have solved all questions. If you have any problem, any query, you can comment below in the comment section. I will try to answer your queries. So let's meet in the next video. Thank you very much.